Humor, haunts, and homicide.
Hey, bitch! I'm Josh.
And I'm Renee.
And we're from Humor, Haunts, and Homicide. Oh my god, we're back for a little bit. Isn't that cool?
We are on a break from our main podcast.
But I mean, it's still our podcast, you know?
Well, yeah.
We're still here giving it to you, but it's just a different version, different format.
This is Guestisode number 3.
Trace. I do not have a Hispanic tongue, so that was...
Trace.
Yeah, that was the worst version you could possibly give anybody.
Well.
So you're welcome, listeners and viewers out there. What do I say, viewers? They're not viewing anything.
Well.
They're listening. Anywho, we're here to give you a little scoop. We have met this amazing author. Her name is Katlyn Jones, and she maybe wrote a little bit of a book, but I'm not going to tell you all about the book because that is her shine and her story. But here with us today, we have Katlyn Jones. And Katlyn, why don't you give us a little bit about who you are, what you feel comfortable sharing, and a little bit about why you chose paranormal as the genre for the backbone of your story?
Ooh, hello. I'm Katlyn Jones.
Hey.
So, gosh, I love the paranormal. I have a paranormal team that I started in 2017 called Mysteries of the Unseen.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I've had
Okay.
plenty of adventures on that. Let's see. I'm a dog mom. I'm a bird mom. I love photography. Anything fun. I love an adventure. Other than that, paranormal all day long.
Okay. I'm instantly in love with you. I hope that's okay with you. I'm gay, by the way. I hope that's a safe place. Okay, so that's great. So I'm going to need to know a little bit more about all of that.
Yeah, the paranormal team. I'd love to hear more about that.
Oh yeah, so I started that in 2017, and gosh, so I wasn't always into the paranormal, but that's because I didn't really know much about it, and then I grew a new love for it and a better understanding of things, and having a paranormal team has really opened things up for me, as well as seeing things on a day-to-day basis versus investigations that happen. It's really rewarding, honestly. It's so cool. It's so fun to get out there and just explore and have things happen.
So how did this team get started? Was it a group of friends and family that were interested, or was it a group of interested, like-minded people in the genre?
So the paranormal team that I have, it's with my best friend, one of my best friends, and with my boyfriend. My boyfriend is fairly new to the team, but we all go out there and explore, and sometimes we go in different time frames, kind of together, kind of not together. It just depends on our availability, but really it's really fun.
Do you do more out in nature, or do you go to abandoned buildings and things like that?
So around here, we can't really go to a lot of abandoned places because there's just, for one, there's not that many around here that we can legally go into without getting arrested, and
True.
we're just not about that.
Probably the same here. Yeah.
Me, if I could, I absolutely would be on top of that and just going for it. But I haven't, and we haven't. We've mainly just explored haunted locations that people have discovered, and word of mouth. People are telling us about it, and locals. Hey, we think our house is haunted. Do you think about you might be interested in coming over? I'm like, sure. But yeah, we've been out in cemeteries. We've been out by churches at the end of, I think in rural areas. That was fun, actually. We'll pretty much go really anywhere that we can, not get in trouble at, you know what I mean?
Right.
But
Yes.
I didn't even think about going to like that people would have you go to their house if they thought their house was
yeah,
haunted. Like, I
I've
mean,
done that a
obviously
few
that's a thing.
times.
That's a thing, but that's cool.
So, how many of those have you done?
Oh gosh, I have not been keeping track, but gosh, I would say at least 100,
Wow.
150.
That was
Wow.
not the number I
Trying
was
No,
expecting.
that's
Wow,
exciting.
that's
Yeah.
so exciting. So I'm
because
sure
it's
you have
like,
so many things that are like that stick out for you, right? Like as far as like I guess epic things you've seen or experienced.
it's crazy because sometimes you go to locations and people are like, yeah, it's super haunted, and you get there and it's like there's not much happening, and you try everything you can with all the different equipment, and you're like, well, all right, it's kind of trial and error, but there's been a few that it's really like way different than we thought it was going to be. Some people are like, no, it's not haunted at all, and then we get there and it's the total opposite. And sometimes going on a full moon really does make the difference. Um, those
I
are
can see that.
those
I can
types of
understand that.
nights. It can be hectic, but
Oh my gosh. So I'm sure that a lot of this has really inspired the journey with your book writing, and I would love to hear more about that journey for you and the name of your book and what you'd love to share about it.
okay. So my book is Haunted Florida Panhandle. It's with Arcadia Publishing's Haunted America series. Um, so with this book in particular, the series, it's their haunted series. So I wanted to run the idea and just kind of have the paranormal throughout the whole Florida Panhandle, the Northwest region. And I covered from Pensacola to Monticello, and that's 16 counties. And that in itself was so much work, but I loved hearing the history and the hauntings and people's experiences that they have. I held interviews. I physically went to these places as well. I I am so impressed with the Panhandle and what it has to offer as far as hauntings and just haunted locations in general. I would love to know a lot more about it and go back over and over and over because it's so fun. I loved every bit of this journey.
So how long has the book taken you to write from start to finish?
Yeah.
It was roughly 5 months of me just writing. Um, I've had a bit of a waiting process with edits and everything and trying to get that going. I just finished. I should say, I'm almost done with the final edits. And then I signed for printing here fairly soon. I'm pretty excited. It comes out August 5th. So super excited. It'll be,
Congratulations.
thank you. It'll be all throughout, obviously, Florida, as it's a Florida book, but it'll also be available all throughout the US and as well as internationally through Amazon and things of that sort.
Great. That's great.
That's amazing. And that's got to be something that, did you ever see yourself as an author, or was it something that one day something inspired you and you're like, this is it. This is what I'm going to do.
I, ever since I can remember, I've always loved writing. I can honestly say it's been a passion of mine since I was a kid. Just telling stories and I don't know, just anything in particular that I liked. Uh, and just I can really say that my best friend honestly was one of the ones that inspired me to write this book. She is an author herself for Arcadia Publishing, and she is also a part of the Haunted America series with 3 of her books in Michigan. Um,
Oh, is it
mhm.
Nicole?
Nicole
Oh,
Beauchamp
we
is
have a
my best
scheduled
friend.
interview to talk to her as well. That's
Oh, that's
exciting.
awesome! She's amazing.
Yes. And I'm actually
She's
from
amazing.
Michigan, and that's what really when I saw her in one of the groups I was in, and that she did a Bay City one. I actually lived in Bay City.
No
So
way!
yeah, so I actually
Mm.
left Bay City to come to Florida. So to know that
Wow.
like you two are friends, and I was attracted to your stories because of the Florida Panhandle, it's all like a triangle there.
That's like a.
It's kind of weird,
It's a little
right?
It's a sign.
It's a little triangle sign.
Signs.
Yeah, that's
Very
fun.
You know how I
cool.
feel about signs.
That is so cool. It's such a small
That is-
world, I tell you.
It's such a small world.
Wow.
Michigan and Florida all intertwined.
Yeah. See.
So what would you say have been the most rewarding and the most challenging parts about this whole process for you?
Oh gosh. I would say the most rewarding is just finding out that people are passionate about the same thing as far as paranormal and just Florida history and things of those sort. Because I mean, I'm always wanting to talk to people and reach out and just to find people that have common, you know, I guess, interactions and things that common ground to talk about, and that is definitely been interesting. And they're so hyped, they're so ready for this book, and I've grown so much support that I never thought I really could have with this book initially going in, and I that's so rewarding for me. um Gosh, I would say the most challenging part is not giving up. There were several times I would
I
call
bet.
Nick and I'm like, girl, I don't know if I can do this. But honestly, her support held me through a lot of this. And if it wasn't for her, um, I don't know. I don't think I could have done it without her, honestly.
Aw, I love that.
Yeah.
Don't make me cry, please. That's amazing. I love that. I love it, love it, love it.
So, do you have any particular stories that you're most excited to share with your audience in regards to your book?
Oh my gosh, tons. I wish I could tell all of them, but I can't. But
Well, you have to stay tuned August 5th.
That's
August
right.
5th.
That's right.
oh yeah. Honestly, there's so many, but one of my favorites is of a location with a church. And there's like three different things. Well, mainly the history back there. A lot of people don't know in this rural area of this church and of the cemetery and the bridge that's there. It's all haunted. But in through history, there was a big battle that went down between the Union and the Confederates, and that created kind of, I would say, a lot of energy throughout there,
Yeah, I would.
especially right there on the road and right there next to the church specifically. And that is one of those locations that when you go out there, it really depends on the day of what can happen. Um, I mean, sometimes you can get things to happen, sometimes you can't, but the stories throughout there that are in the book, there's supposedly a woman on the bridge that had committed suicide. If you're going towards the bridge, she will be walking on the side of the road and she'll try to hitch a ride with you. Sometimes you won't even know, but if you look in your rearview mirror, she'll be sitting in the back seat with you.
Okay.
Wow.
So what I hear is that you're going to make a horror movie and get into production. Because that is terrifying.
Oh man.
Oh my
There
gosh.
So with the church, there's a lot of different things just based on whether I've had an experience, locals have had an experience. I didn't put my experiences in the book at all. I kind of wish I could have, but my publisher is really particular. But one of my experiences, it was I'll just tell you guys this really quick. So my friends and I, they were like, this is one of the most haunted locations, and this is still the same place. And I'd never been there, and this was my first time. And they said, it's kind of a hit or miss, but we'll try. We'll go through there. We might get out of the car, we might not. Just depends on how active it is. We go there, and we literally we were going to get out of the car and something told me, don't go out, just don't get out of the car. And we kept driving through, and we saw someone, I believe they were, gosh, I'm trying to remember everything, but somebody was trying to chase the car down. That was another time, actually. That's not the same night. But someone chased the car, and then we went towards the bridge. I mean, let me tell you, I've been to this place at least 10 times. And each night and each day is so different. Daytime can be active, but nighttime is usually worse, especially right before sunset. Um, let's see.
So
Going towards
do
the
you have
bridge.
equipment that you sense the energy, or do you have a psychic ability?
I wouldn't say I have psychic ability, but I can feel presences, and I have heard voices, and I've seen them. They do show themselves to me. I guess I'm kind of considered like a lighthouse to them. I never knew
Okay.
that growing up because I wasn't the type that would. We didn't talk about those types of things. That was kind of forbidden in our family, and I kind of got opened up to that at a later age, like 21, not too late, but
Sure.
and from there it just things just happen all the time. Uh, yeah, it's kind of wild,
So yeah,
but
so once you were like receptive to it, then you started
mhm.
okay.
I've had a mimic in one of my houses that I lived in. Um, I've had.
Now, explain that. So, is a mimic like just an entity that presents itself as like a fear or something of you?
To me, it came through as a family member,
Okay.
and it was using their voice to kind of lure me out of my room. It was very wild. Um, so my grandmother, she was in her room and I was in my room, and the walls were kind of thin in this house, and I heard her. I was making a YouTube video at the time. I don't know what for, but I think it was for paranormal, but I don't ever know if I posted it. But so she was saying, "Katie, help me," like over and over, probably 3, 4 times. And I couldn't move. Everything within me was just like, don't go out that door, something's gonna happen. And usually when I get those feelings, they're right. And I called her and I said, did you call me? Like, did you call my name? And she goes, I've been asleep the whole time. And I knew she was asleep because I heard her snoring, her little snore. And I'm like, oh gosh.
Girl, no.
Yeah, let me tell you.
No.
Wow.
In that same house, when I would, so there's a restroom, like you have to go through the kitchen to get to it. And every time I would come back through the kitchen to go back to my room, it would feel like someone is charging me, like running up with this aggressive, like energy, just running at me, trying to like scare me. And it'll just drop at my door right in the threshold before like it can get in there. I don't know.
Oh,
I've had some weird things happen.
yeah, that is terrifying. But also, like, it excites me. Is that what
Yeah,
you?
no, I'm the same way. I'm like going like I wouldn't be able to handle if that happened to me, but then I'm like I want that to happen to me.
I'm literally going to stay at the Marshall House in a few days because
Yeah.
I want to experience
Yeah, I mean.
the near death. I mean, oh my gosh. So I guess another thing I want to ask you is, and I try to ask every guest that we have talked to so far this question: if you're going to haunt someone in the world, I guess we'll twist it up this time, and let's say that it's not your family member. Who would you haunt and why?
Okay. Oh my gosh. Uh, ooh, that's a good one. Well, if I go before my best friend, I'm haunting her because at least I know she'll talk to me. She'll entertain me some way.
She won't be creeped out by you.
Would you be like I mean, would you just try to talk to her, or would you be like a fun pranky kind of ghost?
Both, definitely both.
Good answer.
We understand what kind of person you are and who you will be.
Yeah, we like
We like that.
We like that. I mean,
Hey,
if you
gotta have
can't,
fun, you know?
like mildly scare your family for fun, then like what's the point, right?
Right.
Right.
Then get the fuck out, you know?
Exactly.
So if you're gonna hunt anywhere in the world and it can't be related to your friends or family, or any like basically if you're in Florida, you can't hunt anything in Florida. Like it's got to be out of your comfort zone.
It could even be a different time period.
Yeah, like where are you gonna hunt? Where are you gonna hunt?
Ooh.
You're a ghost. You got powers. Where
Why
would you
not?
hunt?
Just we can do whatever we want. We
Right.
can ask any question.
Yeah.
See, that's where there's so many different time frames. I feel like eras that I would jump to. It's crazy.
Well, you're not limited, but if you like your first one, you'd go to, you know.
Well,
As a ghost, I feel like you could do whatever the fuck you want.
probably.
You could go to infinite places.
Gosh, that would be so cool.
It would. Oh my god.
Wouldn't it?
Well, if we're talking a place, I would probably, honestly, I think the Queen Mary. That's cool.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes, we covered that one. That
We
was
did.
A great
We
one.
want to go there.
My mom told me, I said, Mom, have we ever gone there? Because I used to live in California, but Southern California. And she was like, you went there as a baby. And I was like, oh, that doesn't count. I was like, that doesn't count what I want to do.
No, you're a different. You're in a different place now. You want to
Yeah.
experience the whatever is beyond.
Right. Yeah, I would definitely choose to haunt people there. I think that would be the opportunity of a lifetime.
Yeah, that'd be really cool, right?
Renee, I'm going to turn it back on you. Where would you hunt?
Where would I hunt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think I would want to like not stay in the US because I like to go, you know how I like
You do
to
love a good Australia.
I do. Ooh.
Ooh, that's a good
No,
one.
I don't think I want to hunt Australia, but maybe something like the oh my gosh, the thing in Rome.
the Colosseum?
No, where the Pope is. The Vatican.
Oh,
the Vatican.
The thing in Rome. Sorry, I didn't quite
I
get
know.
it right off the bat.
You should have immediately known what I was talking about. No, but like the Vatican City,
Uh-huh.
you know, like so people are like you're going to like to all those. I don't know. I feel like it's creepy to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're going in the actual Vatican with like the tombs and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you can start haunting people there.
Yeah.
Things like or haunting people at a cemetery. Like
Ooh.
I would haunt people where they're already like expecting to be terrified, and then I'll just like.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hunt somewhere where it's like mass amounts of people. So maybe like China. How many people could you scare in China?
Yeah. Oh, you could haunt the Great
What
Wall.
about that one
Wow.
forest? So I can't remember where it is, like Japan or China.
Oh,
Like
the
the one where
Japan
they
one
all
where
get lost.
Yes, I think it is Japan. Ooh.
Ooh. I like where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Maybe like do a forest haunting.
Well, that is a
Ooh.
Oh. Is it
It's like a forest in Japan. Yeah,
Oh.
there's like some.
I'm clearly not well versed on Japan, and my brother's going to kill me because he lived there and has been dying for me to go there and visit him. And has even offered to pay half of the ticket for me. And why I'm still here in Florida, I don't know. But, you know.
How dare you?
I know.
Well, you'll have to go sometime.
I know.
Hopefully, you don't find like the Grudge there.
Oh, don't say
sorry,
that.
I'm just-
Because I'm going to go see it, and I'm now going to have to be terrified of that. Thank you.
Oh, anyway. So, Katlyn, what's next for you after this book? Do you think that you're going to, like write more books? And if so, like, are you trying to stay like in the paranormal?
So what I think I'm gonna do is I would like to stay with Arcadia Publishing and try to maybe write another book, maybe the whole state. I don't know. And then I would love to I could see myself either writing a book, if Arcadia Publishing would let me, write a book with my best friend. I think that would be a heck of a book, both of us.
Plus, you could both put your strengths together, and then plus like the support you would have, obviously, since it's your best friend. So yeah, that would be fun.
Right.
And do you not have a podcast together already?
We were talking about it. We have a name and everything ready. The time frame was just not right for us. We would
Sure.
love to have a podcast. But Yeah,
I tell
we're
you,
we're
it's
we're
been a
hoping in the
journey. It's
future.
so much fun.
It has been really fun.
And the things that we told ourselves we should do but didn't do, we just one day were like, we're gonna fucking do this. And it was a little bit of work and research and
It is
self-teaching
so
yourself,
awesome.
but one day you just wake up and you're like, okay, maybe we don't make this big, maybe we're not superstars, but
Yeah, but
we're
it was
having
like,
fun.
yeah. And I mean, my advice to you would just be, yeah, I mean, just like do it. It's especially if you have like no real expectations, like we were just like, let's do it for fun. If my mom is the only one who listens to it, then, I mean, at least we're having a good time. But it's been like, we've gotten more traction than we thought we would. It's not, I mean, again, it's not nothing like crazy, but I mean, I don't know. It's been really fun. And I can tell you, I was way more nervous than Josh to do it. I was kind of way more reserved. And I'm really happy that he like forced me to.
Oh, thanks. We did have like an initial meltdown. Can I share? Is
You
that
can.
Okay, cool. It's on air, so I just want to make sure we're able to, we're not touching too many boundaries. We had gotten off our first story, and she was embarrassed to tell me that she was struggling to like get through the writer's block.
No, we were supposed to have 2 stories.
Oh, that's right. We were initially planning to do 2 at once, but for our schedules, we realized that it was easier for us to write a story at once, record it, and then do it episode ahead. And she was like, Josh, I have something to tell you. I'm like, what? She's like, I didn't do the second story, and it's just too much, and this is not, I don't know if I can handle this. I'm like, what?
I was losing.
I was like, what, dude? Like, we can just take a fucking breath. We're not like at some tight deadline that we must meet. Like, this is our personal deadline. Like, we can make adjustments. We're gonna get through it.
Okay, well, you are a perfectionist.
I am. I did mention that, but I'm also a realist, and I believe in anyone's ability to do things that they want to do, and I'm a huge advocate for that.
But yeah, so basically, we just had to make a few little changes to our initial plan, and I was fine. I've been fine ever since.
So basically, the story is we think it's a great idea. We support it.
Yeah, definitely. If you guys do it, like reach out to us so we can
Absolutely
like, let everybody know about it.
Yeah, support it and share the love. And we've gotten a lot of great help and support from the podcast community, and including you. And Katie, it sounds like you might go by that name versus Caitlin. So you tell us what you prefer, but we really appreciated even doing
either
this
one,
with us,
honestly.
and having this conversation. You could choose anyone to talk to, and you chose us. So thank you.
Yeah, on a Friday night.
Thank you guys for having me. Like, honestly, when you reached out, I was like, yes, another one. I love being on podcasts. This is my second podcast ever that I've ever been on.
Oh.
So I am here for it. I love it.
Oh, yes. And let me tell you, I think you and your friend could do something in this business. And if we can help in any way, we're glad to help you. But one thing I do want to ask you, before we do let you go is, if you have any other thoughts or advice or anything that you'd like to share out there for your audience, the floor is yours.
Oh, absolutely. Anyone that's aspiring to have a dream or wants a goal to happen, go for it. Don't let anyone ever tell you that you can't do it, because there's always going to be haters in everything that you do. At the end of the day, you've got yourself, you've got your dream, and if you want to do it, doesn't matter your age, go for it. As far as wanting to be an author, if that's your passion, I highly encourage you to do it, because I wouldn't be sitting here telling you this, that I'm an author, if it wasn't for my support system and my best friend. Surround yourself with people that love you and that support you, and that's the most important thing. Nothing else can stop you if you reach for it and you go for it. You got it.
Well, I think that's amazing, and I 100% agree and support everything that you just said and stand for. So I'm glad that there are other people in the world that believe the right thing, and that's amazing. Renee, do you have anything else that you would like to add?
I mean, I guess like the only thing I would need to say is that mystery never sleeps.
And neither do we. Bye, bitch!
Humor, haunts, and homicide.